starting that recording now. All right, so before we get started, we do have in representation, we have the League, the School District of Lee County, Florida Gulf Coast University. We have NSU of Florida, Hodges. I'm not sure if we had our panelists from Hodges. I'm not sure if Michael was able to make it, but we also have Kaiser and FSW. So thank you all. That being said, the first step is I would like for all of you to introduce yourselves. So I guess we can go in order as it is on screen for now, and then I'll mix it up for the following questions. But if I can get Kelly, if you could start, you are representing Lee County School District. So.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. I'm here with my partner, Mary, and I'll throw it over to her in just a minute. But again, thank you for having us. My name is Kelly Thawley. I am a career specialist. I work in the Career and Technical Education Department. And yes, we are part of the school district. So we oversee all of the career and technical education projects going on from K all the way up through 12th grade. Mary?
I am Mary Graham. I am one of the teachers on assignment with the Career and Technical Education Department for the School District of Lee County. There are 3 of us that really help and support all of the programs. So myself and Nicole Bailey, and then Jeremy Bailey, no relation, are the 3 teachers on assignment for the school district. And if you have any questions in the future about programs or anything you hear today, feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to help.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. From FGCU, we have Dr. Anna. I'm sorry, I don't want to mispronounce your name, so I'll let you say it first.
Okay, thanks. I'm Anna Kufaku, and I'm part of the FGCU Software Engineering Program. And we're a university with many students and one program. And, I can talk more a little bit later about that. Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you. All right. And Bausch, we have you from NSU. And I'm sorry, I hope I said that correctly. I should have let you say it first.
Close, actually. Yeah, so it's actually a silent J. So it's just
wow, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yes. Hi everyone. My name is Bao. I specifically represent the graduate admissions department at the College of Engineering and Computing for Nova Southeast University. So I represent the graduate tech programs, for the master's and the PhD programs.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for joining us. And I believe Michael is not here from Hodges. Dr. Curran from Kaiser University. You are muted, Dr. Curran.
That should be a little bit better. I apologize. My
go.
name is Dr. Terry Curran. I am the Cybersecurity Department Chair for Kaiser University at all our campuses, 25 across the state of Florida. I'm here in Fort Myers, and we have a very active cybersecurity program and IT program here today that I look forward to sharing with you.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining us as well.
Thank you.
And then currently, last but definitely not least, Professor Pirro from FSW.
Hello, I'm Professor Pirro. I'm the chair and professor at the Computer Science Department at FSW. There's a lot of new programs going on. We have a lot of cool projects and can't wait to talk about them. Thank you for having me.
All right, certainly. Thank you very much for joining us. I know you were a later addition to the group, and I appreciate everyone's time for being with us. Now, just so it makes sense, going back in reverse order, Dr. Pirro, or Professor Pirro, I'll hit you with the first question to start off our panel. So the first question for everybody, and just to kind of have an idea of what's out there, what types of technological careers are you currently offering at FSW? Certifications, bachelor's, master's, PhDs, and the course directions, if you will.
Okay, so in the fall, starting our highest level will be a bachelor's level program for information systems. And then we're adding a cybersecurity associates as well. And we currently have 2 associate's degree programs for computer programming and analysis and networking systems. We have quite a few certifications, trained for like things like help desk support. I really try to push students into a degree program though, really prep them for the workforce, things like that.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. Then again, just working our way backwards, Dr. Terry. Same question for you. What types of technological careers are you currently offering?
So at Kaiser University, we're a little bit different in that we have, as I mentioned, 25 campuses. So each campus can offer their own programs based on local hiring demand. So here in Fort Myers, and I'll just speak to this for this evening, we have an associate's in information technology with concentrations in networking, in cybersecurity, and programming, network programming as well. So we are also offering a completion program in cybersecurity. All of these are going to be moving and phasing out by the end of the year because we have a brand new cybersecurity bachelor's program laid out that is going to contain 2 concentrations, which are concentrating on digital defense, which is things like forensics, hacking, network protections, and so forth. And the other concentration we'll be offering is information assurance, where we're focusing on auditing principles, governance, identity access, all those things. Our programs right now are completely modeled on the NIST cybersecurity framework. And we're doing that because we are now a DHS, Department of Homeland Security academic partner, and we're moving toward Center of Excellence designation as rapidly as we can go. So we have a lot of changes coming. We're loading up additional programs to be offering out system-wide, but we're moving pretty fast.
Wonderful. That sounds amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bao, same question for you. What are you currently offering at NSU?
Hi, thank you. So so we have bachelor's programs, we have master's, and we have PhD as well. As I mentioned earlier, I do represent mainly the master's and PhD programs. Also, we have our graduate certificate programs as well. And so we actually have 7 Master of Science programs, plenty to choose from. And so we have computer science, cybersecurity management, data analytics, information assurance and cybersecurity, information systems, information technology, and organizational leadership. And then for our graduate certificates, we have it in cybersecurity management and data analytics. And then for our PhD, we have it in computer science, cybersecurity management, and information systems. If anyone is interested in our bachelor's program, we have a computer science program, which is actually ABET accredited. We have the engineering program, and we also have the information systems program, information technology program. Just a note on our cybersecurity programs, we are designated as a National Academic Center of Excellence by the DHA and National by NSA and DHA, getting all my acronyms mixed up.
All right.
So we've actually been designated for a long time now, for over a decade, I think close to 15 years. So I'm definitely happy to let everyone know that as well. And the wonderful thing about our master's programs that I do want to highlight is a lot of them are online. So most of them, all of them can be completed online. Okay. And our courses are actually now 8 weeks long instead of the 16 that we used to have. And so they're actually shorter now, and they're programmed to be completed within a year.
Okay, and I was gonna ask that. What was the completion timeframe? But
yes, 1 year. Yeah, it's designed now. Now it's designed to be completed within a year.
Okay, wonderful, awesome. Thank you very much, Dr. Kohaku for FGCU. Same question for you.
All right, so we offer a bachelor's in software engineering, and we are ABET accredited, and there are some plans to do some additional degrees, but they haven't been in place yet. So the different things that our graduates are doing, they have many different jobs, like David here, Pyro. Then different career paths. And we have a lot of them employed in the local community, but also in major companies like, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft. Now we have people interning at NASA and all these other companies I mentioned. And we also have some people, just like I think David, going into grad school and getting graduate degrees, which you were just mentioning.
Okay.
We are part of a College of Engineering. They don't offer other degrees, so the other degrees are pretty different. They are in civil, environmental, construction management, different, completely different paths.
Right.
And our faculty, are either instructors with some graduate degrees in their career, or they have a PhD and are doing also research. Maybe that gives a different ideas to the students about what they can do.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Very good. All right. And Mary, Kelly, I'm not sure which one of you would like to field the question. Same one for Lee County.
So we're working on our high school diplomas.
Right.
But students have opportunity to participate in a lot of different programs. So we have 17 traditional high schools in the district, and
Okay.
each school has various career and technical education programs. Probably some of our top IT programs, Dunbar High School has fabulous programs there. Cybersecurity, we have at several of our schools, and I know we're partnering and working to build those programs. We've had like networking and kind of trying to put them all under one umbrella and meet the industry needs. So merging a lot of those under the cybersecurity umbrella. We also have digital design, web design, game and sim that work on coding and computer science also.
Yeah, it makes me wish I could go back to high school. I wish those programs were available when I was there.
Yeah.
What,
Students, I should add, they work on industry certifications. So hopefully they have a baseline knowledge for when they do your programs.
amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, it's great to get them at that level to go into all the rest of the levels. All right. Now I'm going to mix up the order a little bit so that I'm not asking, back and forth, because that kind of gets boring. And I want to make sure I'm keeping not only our participants, but also our panelists on your toes. So that being said, let me go ahead and start with Bao. I'm going to do a two-parter for this next question. And I know I sent all of you the questions beforehand, so I'm not going off the script of the questions themselves, but I'm going to kind of do a two-parter on this one. So taking the next question is, what is your enrollment process like? And are there any grants or scholarships for prospective students that they can utilize for these programs?
Yeah, so for our enrollment process, it's pretty simple. Students apply, online, and within about 24 to 48 hours, the application would be processed, and then they would be, they would get a communication from us regarding their application status. And then once we get all of the required documents, then we send the file to review. So there is a special admissions committee that reviews the file, and it takes about 1 to 2 weeks or so for a master's, and then for our PhD program, it takes about, for our certificates and masters, and then for our PhD programs, it takes about could take up to a month for a decision to be made. And then once a decision is made, then applicants would receive a decision letter from directly from the Director of Admissions. And if they are admitted, then they would move on to our wonderful academic advisors for help with registration and the whole new student process and everything. So it's pretty simple. Mm-hmm.
All right, very good. And is that part or through that, is that where they view kind of some grants or scholarships perspective that they might have? Is there anything that they can?
Absolutely, yeah. So we actually have scholarships that are, well, just kind of with overall from NSU, but we also have specific scholarships at our college as well. So There are some that, qualify for our PhD program, some for both our master's and PhD, and then some are just for our masters. So we have a lot of them that, are available for them to choose from, depending on what they qualify for or what they actually want to apply for. So some of them even offer, beyond just tuition assistance. So helping with, books and fees and, a little bit of living stipend and things like that as well. And, what we always tell all our, prospective students is it's free money. You don't have to pay back. So definitely, do the due diligence to look for the scholarships that are available to you. You just never know what you would qualify for and what you would get. So especially for, those that are paying out of pocket. Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah, they might end up hitting the jackpot for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's definitely worth it.
All right, very cool. All right, Professor Pirro, same for you. What's the enrollment process like at FSW, and are there any grants or scholarships available?
So the process is pretty much the same. The only thing I would do first is like apply for FAFSA and your taxes and make sure that that's aligned first before you go and apply, just to accelerate that process. I can't speculate how long FSW is going to take to respond to your application. Hopefully quick, but we have specialized scholarships. I know that there's a couple coming out with our new degree programs relating to like economic diversity and like individual need. If you work full time, that kind of thing. In addition, there's already some scholarships and grants available. If you go to the FSW website, they're pretty easy to find. Just Google search it. And the application process, you just download and submit it through a digital form. And then on campus, if you keep your eye out, there's opportunities that are occasionally posted for different like scholarships. One in particular I can think of is that there was like a book review scholarship on like environmental sustainability for like 500 words for a $500 scholarship.
Wow.
Last semester. Not bad, right?
Right, yeah, not at all.
Thank you.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right, Dr. Terry, how about you? What's the enrollment process like at FGCU?
That was for me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No worries. So, not much unlike what we've heard or hear already. What we do is we have a couple of different things going on. We have lots of scholarships, as mentioned. We're on the website as well. We have admissions on site right here on campus. People can come in and talk to us. We see many students come in with their families and their parents and mom and dad. And, we also have students that come over with faculty from Dunbar. We're partnered with Dunbar. They're right up the street.
Okay.
So, we have that kind of outreach that's right here and personal with them, and they seem to all enjoy it. We also have our financial aid, and this is every Kaiser campus has this model. So we have our own admissions people here. We have our own financial aid staff right here, and they're very accustomed to what's going on locally. We do a lot of work with the Chamber of Commerce, for Cape Coral and Fort Myers and for the other towns and so forth, right? So one of the things that I just want to mention here is that we have many, many, many veterans in our programs here. We have a very high adult student population here. One of our financial aid specialists is certified by the VA as a financial aid specialist, which is pretty cool. Not all the campuses have that. So we're very happy to have her. So right now in my cyber program, 96% of my cyber program and 94% of my IT program are veterans. So
Wow.
of all different ages, all different walks of life. Yeah. So it's kind of and I'm the veterans campus advisor. So it's kind of a sweet spot for us. And we do a lot of work, pardon me, with the local VA administration as well, in terms of placement and scholarships and things like that. So it's pretty cool. We really have what we see happen is students will come and they'll visit, and where we're so small, there's always a faculty member here for them to talk to. So the admissions people don't let them leave until they talk to somebody from the program, either me or one of the IT people here. So it's a very close process here.
Very cool. Very cool. Nice. All right. And Kelly or Mary, so I know the process for you is a little bit different. I mean, there's not really an enrollment process for high school, but I guess more along the lines of what incentives are there to drive the students to choose these courses over others? I'm not sure if it's a credit requirement, or are there incentives kind of in place?
Yeah, so our CTE courses are considered electives. So when students are in a high school, they usually meet with their counselors and they get to choose, they have a certain amount of classes they have to take, and then they have additional classes that they can choose to take. Obviously, it depends on what type of pathway they're taking. If they're a student who is doing an IB or a college prep program, they may not have as much room in their schedule for electives. But we're really working with our post-secondary institutions to also try to extend some of our dual enrollment programs to some of our CTE students. So that's something that we're working on now. And there's definitely opportunity for that. It's something that's really exciting in public education now. Our students also have the ability from 8th grade to 9th grade, when they're assigned to a specific high school, if that high school that they get through school choice and the student enrollment process does not have the career academy that they're interested in, they can complete a waiver through the student enrollment office. And this is fairly new within the last couple of years. So they submit that waiver that is specifically for the career academy that they're interested in. So we do the best that we can to work with student enrollment. We meet with them to go through those waivers and approve as much as possible. Based on the capacity at the school, the capacity in the program. We don't guarantee that they'll be accepted into the specific career academy, but we can at least try to get them into the right school.
Oh, wow. All right. Very cool. Yeah, that's great that they have that option starting from the high school level and even last year of middle school. Pretty cool. All right. Thank you. Dr. Kofaku, how about you for Kaiser? I mean, kind of what's the, not Kaiser, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. So I'm not really familiar. I'm a faculty there, so I'm not really familiar with the admissions or all this, stuff. But we are a big university. We have now almost, I think, 13 to 15,000 students. So there is a very, regular big university, medium university admissions process. There are scholarships and a lot of things that students get. And I think the dean of the college was telling me that just last year they had $500,000 that has been given to students just last year.
Wow.
So there's a lot of opportunities. And like I said, a lot of our students get internships in the summer. So it's not that everyone does it, but this is a lucrative field. I think if you're successful, if you're good, if you will, and network and all that stuff. So I think the opportunities are there, but like others said before me, the individuals have to seek them out, talk to the right people, and we have advising. We have a lot of people who are concentrating on these specific roles to help them out.
Of course. Yeah, and like everything, I mean, there's help out there for those who want it, but they have to go and find it. They really truly have to want it, because nothing's just handed out for free. Although it is kind of handed out for free, but you got to put some effort into it. All right, awesome. And Dr. Govak,
I think also I wanted to mention that
Yes.
we have an office of competitive scholarships. So our students have been getting Fulbrights and the really national level.
Wow.
Not everybody student gets it, but there is an office now dedicated to that, helping students who want to apply for, and they have the full ride and all that stuff besides other distinctions for that.
Wow, awesome, very cool. All right, and then just before I get into my next question, I do want to say for any of our participants today, if there are any questions, you can go ahead and put them in the chat. And Zorla, if you have a chance to take a look at those, then we can go ahead and ask them out to the panel. I'll try and keep an eye on them as well, but that way we can at least kind of, if there's any doubts that anybody wants to expel. All right. Oh, I should not have used that word with this group. Expel is a naughty word. I'm sorry. All right. So moving on to the next question. I guess I want to ask more along the lines of what one particular course is the biggest that you all have. And again, just mixing it up. Lee County School, I guess, Mary and Kelly, what courses do you see your high school students are gravitating towards the most, if there's any data on that?
Mary, you might have those specific numbers for those programs.
I can tell you the program with the largest enrollment is digital design.
Oh, wow.
Yep. So we have digital design at all of our high schools. That's definitely a very popular one. And then, like I mentioned earlier, cybersecurity, we are adding that more and more. I think marketing is also a new up and coming program,
Right.
which includes like social media, all those different new marketing venues.
Right.
Mhm.
Definitely courses that wouldn't have traditionally been considered tech related. Yeah, they use tech, but you wouldn't have really thought of them as technological courses or careers. And the further along we go in the years, then the more they are migrating towards that. All right, very cool.
Well, and that's what I was thinking as we were getting ready for this meeting. I don't know where you draw the line at tech, but I mean, we have agriculture programs that have programmable gardens. They do drones, drone applications. So we do incorporate technology into all of our programs, even those that you wouldn't traditionally think.
That's very cool. And it's something, especially for this group, that I'm sure everybody notices, that the eventually saying I work in tech is not going to be just a go-to career path. Is like, no, you have to be specific, because the nice thing about tech is that it works everywhere. Everything has tech, from the simplest of manufacturing processes to the most difficult of, I don't know, medicine and science and everything. It's involved absolutely everywhere. So, and that's why everybody in our panelists, your roles here and the schools are so important, for sure. I guess, okay, so Val, same question. At NSU, what do you see your biggest tech course, or what do you see the students gravitating towards the most, do you think?
Yeah, so we are always constantly updating our curriculum to kind of keep up with, the real world out there. And so one of our more recent programs is like the data analytics program, the cybersecurity management and I'm talking like masters. Yeah, so those are the two that are really, really, we have a lot of inquiries about that, a lot of applications, coming in for that. So, and that's kind of, we knew, that was going to be, one of those hot fields, and so we developed the programs to make it available for students. And so, yeah, so it's coming in. So, yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you. Professor Pirro, same for you. What do you see your hotspot as?
Sure. So there's like 4 courses total, 2 that we currently have that are pretty popular. It's our computer hardware and computer software courses, and those train for the CompTIA A+ certs, Core 1, Core 2. So what I'm noticing is the popularity in these courses is that because they're lower level and like really introducing students to the field, with COVID, with the shift to online learning, we have workshops now that kind of facilitate the learning development of the course objectives. Building a PC, working through the parts, understanding the components, understanding like things like pressure, and not having to worry about the cost, not worrying about breaking something, or this is your device you need for school. Like, why would you work on it with the potential to break it? That's not an issue. Some other courses that we're implementing, I'm really looking forward to, that I think students may not like, but are very necessary. Data structures for IT, network defense and countermeasures, and security operations center, working kind of with the collective knowledge that they gain in the cybersecurity program to actually perform routine tasks.
All right. Very cool. Yeah, definitely. That's got to be a motivator, knowing that even if what you're doing is, taking stuff apart and actually trying to play around with it, that you're not going to destroy your one sole working machine, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. Awesome. Dr. Kovaku, same question for you. And I know you said your faculty, so you might not have the data on that, but from your experience and what you've seen, kind of your movement there at at FGCU, what do you see as kind of the biggest courses?
And did you mean what is the biggest as to what the students like, or the?
Yeah, more kind of what the students are gravitating towards.
Yeah, like I think what David said, it's the same for us. Data structures, programming courses. The reason that a lot of students come into this field is because they want to be technical. So, other
Right.
courses that are more about, more side things, they won't be as popular. But it's also that they know that when they interview, they will get these questions. So, they study and they go to class and they do a lot of stuff outside. I don't think that's the truth for everyone. I think sometimes like this semester, I taught an elective in text mining and natural language processing, and other years I have taught in machine learning. So the students who take this, they really like it usually. But if someone doesn't have that interest, maybe they want to go more into hardware, then but there's definitely, we try to see, what is the hot thing in the industry and try, we have human computer interaction, we have robotics, we have, I think now there is a school of entrepreneurship too, which does a lot of things like blockchain and more, hot things that, we can't possibly
Right.
cover because we're also a very small program.
Of course.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. And Dr. Terry, last but definitely not least, for the same question. So what do you see kind of moving at Kaiser?
So I think this, reflects a lot of the comments that you just shared. So not everybody wants to code. Not everybody is equipped to be a hacker. They all think they are, but they're not. And a lot of people get into their, pardon me one second. Excuse me, pardon me. So what we're finding here is that, and where we're trying to teach them is that there are other jobs besides breaking building, to the excellent point made earlier. And there's also, things to study besides. We're so lucky now that cyber is bigger than just tech. All right.
Right.
So I'll tell you what some of the things that are so hot here right now are: risk management, compliance, governance, standards, auditing. They want to learn how to audit these systems. All right. They want to understand about business process. They hear that from our advisory board people when we have meetings with them. What is the business process? What's a development? What's sec dev ops anyways? Because they know that those entry-level jobs are not going to be on the high end, that they have to start in these places like in auditing or like in identity credentialing and things like that.
Right.
So I see a big shift, to be honest with you, away from the hard technology stack layer of things over to more of the softer governance side of cybersecurity. And that's where they're really, really streaming in the door for us right now.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. And they all seem to be following very similar trends for sure. And all institutions. And of course, I mean, that's as it should be. That's what the general public is looking to get. And that's where the trends have to take us. And that's the direction that we have to migrate in for sure. But that being said, I do want to piggyback off, and I'll start with you, Dr. Terry, because you did say something interesting. I want to ask the next question, because you're not just preparing them with the tech skills, but do you currently offer any kind of class related to inserting the students into real industry projects? And to double up on the questions again, how prepared are the students once they do finish the courses to actually get those jobs? So, same for you, Dr. Terry, because you gave me the idea. I'm sorry. Okay. Dr. Terry, can you hear me?
Are you talking to Dr. David or to me? I'm sorry.
No, to you, Dr. Terry. I'm sorry.
Okay, so to build on, I'm sorry, because I was hearing David Terry, sorry.
No, sorry.
No. So no worries. So for us, we take our cues from our advisory, our local business advisory teams. We map to, we were told very sternly that our students had to have an A+, Network+, and Security+. Boom. But then after that, They want to focus on industry specific certifications and growing their certification stacks. So what
Okay.
we do here is we map courses to NIST standards. We include the CISSP curriculum topics in all of our classes so that students know what is further down the road for them. You see, so we do all kinds of career path mapping with them and for them. We are big followers of the NIST cybersecurity framework hiring, knowledge, skills, and attributes, the KSAs. So this is what we teach them, and this is what we have mapped all our courses to. And so that way we can show prospective employers,
Okay.
yeah, this is what they know to do for your jobs. And so it's something that we're very keenly focused on here.
All right. And just kind of follow-up question to that. Are there any, and I know there's more real life type thing once you get into the industry, but are there any courses, and maybe not courses, but electives or options for to teach students kind of those soft skills? Or is there any inclination within the courses to kind of offer those soft skills that, I mean, you can be the greatest programmer or the greatest tech person in the world, but if you don't know how to talk to people, you're not always going to get that dream cushy job that you want.
Yeah, so I'm smiling because in all of our cyber courses, every week we have mock staff meetings.
Oh, wow.
I was very fortunate in my prior to academics, I was a chief security officer at a bunch of different companies. And so I'm a very mean boss. And what I do is we simulate, they get a project a week that simulates a real life business example. And we call it the Explode Your Brain session. And then we have staff meetings where they have to explain to me what their research is to solve a problem. So in one session we did not long ago, we ran a company, and it was all playing, but we're a small travel industry bureau, and we just got ransomware. You have one day to get your report to me, preliminary report, cyber team, what are you going to do?
Wow.
And we actually have people come in and sit in and listen to those and critique them. So yeah, it's business process skills in action, and they enjoy it. They absolutely thrive in that environment.
That is awesome. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Thank you. And then Dr. Kofaku, how about you? FGCU, do you have anything, or I guess same questions. Are there any classes to insert students into real industry projects? And you mentioned internships earlier, so maybe let's speak a little bit more to that effect.
Right. So the internships could be independent, or it could be through an internship course.
Okay.
But we do have a senior project, and the senior project is usually run by sponsors from the industry.
Okay.
And they basically work with the students for 2 semesters, and they give them a project, and they work with them throughout the year, the academic year, to basically create the technology that they need, or the software, whatever they need. Sometimes they might be very different technologies too, that what we are teaching. So the students need to pick up a lot of things during that time. And then they also will have to interact with a lot of different, people, stakeholders, and all these things. And in the end, there are senior presentations and reports, all of these things that you would expect from a year-long, project. The other thing is that the students work in teams. So by that time, they have to, work with others for a long time in their given the previous career. So I think that's it. I don't know if we actually teach them, though, the skills that they need to. I think it's by, trial and error and fire, right? And some of my students, ex-students, are here today.
Oh,
I also see Moises in the non-camera people.
Okay.
But one thing that happens is, for many years I was running a group project, junior level class, and I had students do presentations and also the group project. And it's really up to the individual courses to kind of cultivate that culture. I don't think you can take someone who's a very introvert and they really don't want to deal with people and make them into an outspoken, great, person to market a product, for example. But I think definitely the students, I see growth in most of them. I have been in this department now, this program for 13 years. So, I do see this over and over. And probably that's why I see my students in this group, my ex-students, yeah.
I'm sure.
So the thing is that, it is important to teach these skills. And, I also think it's very important to teach ethics. I teach, for example, machine learning, and I also teach part on ethics, and there's many facets to that, like privacy, from safeguarding your data to what can people understand from your behavior, from doing things in a fair way to everybody, fairness, and now new things like explainability of models and things like that. But I think one of the problems is that we don't offer the same things over and over. So there's no, like I said, an ethics course. And I don't know if the students would be willing to take something like that, because again, it would not be technical, but it also has a lot of philosophical aspects. So it's not really a thing for us to teach like independently.
All right. Yeah. Interesting, because when I was going through my university career, I had to take an ethics class, and I studied business administration, so a whole different story. But yeah, it's always a good idea to have something like that.
I'm sorry, I was gonna say we have a question that it came out as Dr. Kufuoku was talking. It was asking about if the senior projects are with local companies.
Yes, mostly they are local companies, but they could be, someone that's not local. Like the students have found people in other places in Florida, and they could be, as long as they are approved by the people who are teaching the course. The idea is that you want to have this not a project that someone can just say, build this website for me, because that's not what one of our senior students should be doing. So you want to have a company that does have a technical or specific need or advanced level of sometimes they're hardware related projects, and then this is kind of what needs to be approved. Not more like who is it, do we like them, but it's a project based, does it have the level, the aspects, the training that they will need to do, all of that stuff, and that's it. And sometimes things fall through and they have to find someone else and of course the people who are setting this up have helped students find their sponsors. They don't have to usually go out and find them, but they can also propose. So it's a little bit, flexible, but I see a lot of the same. We have a lot of coal miner, Arthrex, and I think ATS and ATP, which used to be Flight Dogs. There's a lot of, I think, well-known local companies, maybe in tech in this area.
All right, very cool, very cool. Thank you very much. And thank you, Zarela, for fielding the question too. Bao, let me go ahead and continue with you. Kind of the same question and same kind of flow there. So do you offer anything of the sort?
Yeah, so I don't work directly with students, so I don't know any specific projects and things like that they do, but our faculty does let us know that all our courses or a lot of our courses do incorporate real world problems and also projects in the materials and assignments as well, so students get an opportunity to work on real life problems within certain companies, for example, and so that's what they get to as well. And also just in the courses, students do receive a balance of both, theory and also practice related skills that prepares them for, academia, or also, going into the industry pathways as well. And so I know that's not part of this is not part of the question, but I do want to mention that a lot of the times, our students get the opportunity to also participate in student clubs and organizations as well. So we do have that as, let's say extracurricular that also helps them with, their courses and being able to, explore and go to different events and, and just kind of develop that camaraderie, but also develop their, technical skills and everything. So, and we also have a career development office as well. So, once they're, I will say whenever they're ready for like an internship, for example, they can go to the career development office to get help on, finding internships through the handshake system. And so, and also when they're ready to get a job, then, they're there to help them as well with cover letters, resume, interview, practicing, things like that. So, we kind of have like a system in place to really help students to, ultimately, get a job, find a job that they want. Yeah.
Certainly. Well, and I'm going to take this moment just for a very shameless plug here, but a lot of the tech meetups that we have, not just ours at the South Florida Tech Nights, but all of our sister groups, Southwest Florida Coders, VRAR, Python, Southwest Florida, SWFL which is like what they like to call Southwest Florida InfoSec, and Southwest Florida Data. I mean, we're all here, and that's kind of our intent as well, is that kind of networking and meetup for everybody. No age requirement. Like I said, very shameless plug. I'm sorry, but I had to take advantage of it because you kind of left it open for me there.
Yes, no, absolutely. That's great.
So, Kelly and Mary, so same question, but I guess a little bit different. Although there's always going to be either that absolute genius that straight out of high school is going to get a job, or people that don't feel they want to go to higher education. Kind of how are you, is there anything in the works to prepare those students? And same, I mean, for those that are applying, how do you help them to form them to apply to higher education?
Yeah, so each of our schools this year have a career specialist now, in addition to their school counselor. So their career specialists have really been focused more on their career pathways and helping students, whether it is filling out applications for post-secondary education, doing research on technical colleges. That's kind of what their role is, and they've been doing a great job. They've been such an asset this year. Within our schools and our career academies, we are always looking for business partners, any post-secondary institution that wants to come in and do a presentation or a group, even just like a group discussion with our classes. We're more than happy to get you in touch with those teachers. Another struggle that we have is getting our teachers certified and getting them the experience that they need. I know we have a partnership with Florida Southwestern University for teachers to learn cybersecurity, and that helps prepare them to better teach the classes. So that's always something too, is working with our teachers so that they can then go in and be better educated to teach our students. We have started a partnership with an online management program for all of our work-based learning. So any sort of business that would be interested in having students come in to do tours, if they're interested in sending some of their employees into the schools to do panels, something like this during the school day, Mary and I are always happy to work with our schools to put something together. Our work-based learning management platform is called Transio Jobs, and I will put the link for that information in the chat. We do have a process in place for internships. Usually we require that our students at least be on the 3rd or 4th level of whatever career academy they're in. That way they do have that background knowledge and the skills needed to go into the workplace. But we are more than happy to work with businesses to set up official internships. We have courses that we can use, so the students do still get credit and they're able to leave school. It would just be like an on-the-job training where they leave school early and they go to their location for their internship.
Very cool. Yeah, those work study programs in high school are amazing. I was fortunate to be able to use one myself. Not in anything I ever ended up working in, but yeah, I used one of those as well. All right, Professor Pirro, same question for you. And I know Kelly kind of gave you a nice kind of a softball lob there, but you can take it if you like as well.
Sure. So I'm fairly new to the program at FSW, and I had the ability to kind of restructure it and organize it. And one of the things I've done is like kind of reach out with the industry advisors local to the area, the ones that I could reach out to, and hopefully gather more and hear about what they need, what they want, and then give this feedback into the curriculum development. Many of our courses cater and gear you towards industry certification testing. So those students in high school, once their certs run out when they're in college, they can get recertified. We're working on a credit differential to further prepare individuals in the workforce so that they can get college credit for the certs they already have. A part of the new development of the program is we're getting a new building as well with new equipment. So I'm using this opportunity to have students really build everything, like
Wow.
everything, the data center, the PCs, all their little projects. And so I'm kind of trying to add in this new exploratory aspect where students can develop their own projects and ideas relative to the majors we offer through a couple of ways, primarily through our clubs. We kind of have a specialization for each kind of niche in computer science. Other things I want to do is we're in our senior project class that will eventually be offered, I think, next spring, is have projects that really facilitate what they need to know for small business if they were going to go do their own startup in IT. So what does the documentation look like? How do you troubleshoot and debug this? Doing a bill of materials, structuring your time, and then having something you can go hand to your employer or future employer or potential employer and say, this is what I can do, or what I've already done. We have internships and partners, and I'm trying my best to like mediate those internship boards to facilitate those kind of offerings. Now, yeah, it's a lot. Hope we have some industry advisors. We have people that are doing internships. I want to add more with the new growth. A lot of these soft skills are really coming together in these interactions with students outside the classroom. So these club activities, I try to take a step back and let students run the meetings. And I try to force students who don't have presentation skills, who don't have the best speech skills, to go and do it because this is what they're passionate about. This is what they want to talk about. So be good at it. Go tell everyone what you know. It's a really like giving an encouraging environment in all kind of ways with like hands-on skills, soft skills, and giving them the tools and resources to do that. I feel like is the best way we can prepare them for employment.
All right, wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, President Pirro. I appreciate it. Now, Dr. Gopaku, because I know you said you needed to leave soon. If you're still here, I would like to get you for just the last question. And this is more kind of from your university in particular, but also your personal insight on this. What do you think the job market is like in the Southwest Florida area? And how do you feel your students? Are they staying local, or are they moving? I mean, now with remote work so prevalent, they might still be staying local, but working for a company outside. But what do you feel is kind of that mix there?
I think there's a mix. There are students who are still looking this year, and there are students who have, like I said, jobs in major companies. There are students who are offered jobs locally. I think there is a mix. I'm not sure of what the percentages are. In the past, they used to stay more locally, and I think the program has grown. So now we see that there are students who want to stay with their, close to their families, and others who just want to work for a big company, the big names, or they want to have different careers, different career paths, and maybe come back later There's
Okay.
there's things like that. I think the local community has grown, the local offers. So it's definitely a different story since I first came here in 2009. So that's good to see, and a few years ago, maybe a big player used to be, this company or that company, and now we have others who have grown larger. So, the growth in the area is definitely happening. There are also smaller companies and startups that I still see that some students just prefer that because they just want to be more maybe free or not going to such a corporate environment.
Right.
But I think, it's really up to what everyone wants to do. Maybe the others see differently. I don't know. I haven't looked for a job myself. I think we have career fairs and all that stuff. And I used to really go to a lot of that stuff. But I think after, 10 years or so, I really started getting, difficult to really say, oh, I'm going to another one of these,
Right.
to see how my students are doing. And the industry in general is in a huge demand right now. So I know I went to UCF for my graduate degrees, and I know that they're losing people over there from UCF and other places to industry for like double salaries.
Wow.
So, there's definitely, I don't think there's right now anybody should be afraid that they're going to get any kind of tech degree and not find a job, but the question is what kind, how specialized can you get, what do you need to learn? And I think that's one of the things that maybe students really don't know in the beginning. We have a lot of students who come in because they want to be the game developers, or they want to do this and they want to do that. And then they realize, this is not going to be exactly what they thought it was.
Yep.
And there's a lot of sub areas that they really, like what was mentioned before by others, that, the cybersecurity, and there's a lot of demand there. And I think students and many people still don't know what that entails, things like that.
Indeed.
So we definitely all need to do a lot, not as individuals, as the institutions, but also the community, as educating the young people and their parents in what they can do. And I think the Lee County schools that we have today is probably, they're doing a tremendous job from there. But how many initiatives are like that are there? Do they know what the difference is? And there's a lot of misunderstanding also. Like there's the understanding that someone can build a phone app over a weekend, or a website, that looks great and all that stuff. So, there's a, again, misunderstanding on how hard it is to go and become a full engineer or developer or designer and all that stuff. And again, there are many paths. You can go into the front end, you can go into, the user experience, there's just so many different things. So not everybody has to be the computer high-tech person, right? So I agree with that. It's just it has become so diverse and broad that it's very difficult to explain and educate, what people can do and what they need to do. If someone goes and takes all these technical classes, and then in their third year they realize it's not what I wanted to do, I really wanted to do other stuff, they shouldn't waste their time, but it's hard. Anyway, thank you for having me. And sorry, I have to leave.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kovaco, for your time. And I'm sorry you have to leave early, but I really appreciate you being here with us. Thank you so much.
Bye, everyone.
All right, Professor Pirro, let me go ahead and start with you, or continue with you. Kind of same question. What do you see the job market in the Southwest Florida area, and how do you feel your students are doing there?
So FSW is pretty much catered to like workforce training. So it's concerned with the local area. I want to say about 1/5 of our students go somewhere else. Why? More money, more opportunity. Larger companies exist elsewhere, so different networks. I do see, as Dr. Kovaco suggested, there's a large growth in the area with economic boom. to my knowledge, there's been a shift in Silicon Valley moving over in this general direction, particularly Miami. But I guess with the cheap real estate here in relation to everywhere else, we'll get that spillover for sister companies. We already see the Amazon warehouse down the road, right off of Alico. I'd expect a lot of mom and pop startups to happen here and something big to take place with one of these geniuses in our local area, right? One of them's going to do something great. Yeah, I think it's looking great.
Awesome. All right. Very cool. Dr. Curran, how about yourself?
So for our students right now, so bringing it up to a statewide number, right now, looking at the latest numbers that I see, there are about 30,000 open cybersecurity jobs in the state of Florida right now. Now that's across the whole state. And of course, you're going to have a larger preponderance in Miami-Dade and Pensacola and Tallahassee and so on. But our students down here know and understand that this metro area right here, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, this whole area, Punta Gorda, it's exploding. And what we are seeing is that the larger companies are holding and they have an existing cybersecurity staff headcount, FTEs, full-time equivalents.
Mm-hmm.
But as was mentioned earlier, we're seeing a lot more smaller companies coming in, not necessarily teeny mom and pops, we're seeing that too, but we're seeing some mid-range level coming in. We're also seeing some software development come in, and we're seeing cybersecurity companies come here. But we are seeing a lot of different industry vectors coming in.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Right now in Cape Coral, there's about 450 cybersecurity jobs.
Wow.
Okay. Now, having said that, what we're trying to do is teach our students that you're not always going to get a job like at, Lee County, Lee Hospital, or, you're not going to get into that big organization up front necessarily. So what you have to do is be a jack of all trades. You got to know how to build, break, keep them out of trouble from compliance, help them write policies, make sure they're being ethical to a lot of the things we talked about earlier, right? Business skills, it all comes back to the business skills. So we're teaching a lot of our students here that they might be the one person all in a small company with opportunity to grow, and they should be able to gamble on that.
Right.
What we also see here too is that, again, we're unique here because the majority of my students as veterans, now having said that, a lot of them want to stay here, but with their military background and experience, DHS is hiring, NSA is hiring, the Metro DC area up there are hundreds of thousands of jobs open, okay, literally, and they can work there and use their military credentials to gain some seniority in there as well. So for students here in this area, it's all good news. It's all good news because there's all kinds of explosive things happening down here. And I think we're lucky to be a part of it, to be honest with you.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Kelly and Mary, how do you see that from the K through 12 perspective? What's your kind of outlook on that?
I'll let Mary take this question.
Man, I was counting on you for this one. So the school district, at least I'm not privy to the knowledge of where our students are going or how that information is tracked. I know, Kelly does a great job as our career specialists of connecting students with local employers. So we do have students that go directly into the workforce. And they have those entry-level skills to help them out with that. We have a ton of our students that go on to your programs to enhance their knowledge and skills. So we're definitely, we, at least the programs that I oversee, I know we see it across the board, students going out of state for college, in-state, technical colleges, going right into the workforce. So we definitely have a diverse opportunities for the students in Lee County.
Certainly. Yeah, definitely a different outcome from the high school level to any higher education levels, for sure. Mm-hmm. And Bao, definitely not least, but same question for you, and I think you can take it home for us if you like.
Yeah, sure. So with our students, we have a unique very diverse set of students from all over the world. So some of them, you know, are, we have a large base of online students too. So a lot of them kind of study from where they're at, and they choose to stay where they're at because they either want to advance in their career or their current position or company, or they want to kind of find jobs that are local there. So that's kind of one of the benefits of our programs is, you know, it is designed for working professionals and also from all over the world, you know, but for around here, you know, like I think kind of like what everyone, kind of echoing what everyone is saying, it's like, you know, it's up and coming, a lot of mom and pop startups, a lot of, you know, companies that are getting larger, and it's starting to attract more of our graduates, you know, trying to kind of keep them here versus, you know, going to, you know, other, you know, Fortune 500 companies and whatnot. So, so we have a little bit of mix of both, you know, some students stay, but some want to branch out, some stay where they're at. Excuse me. And actually some that, you know, come from a different country, study here, and then they go back to their country. Wow. You know, that's their goal is to, you know, get a better education here, or just a specific education here, and then to go and back to serve, you know, in the workforce in their own country. So yeah, so that's a lot with our graduate, you know, students. With our bachelors as well, you know, I think with our bachelors, yeah, it's going to be more, you know, it's also the same, similar, you know, very diverse as well. So yeah.
Definitely very cool. Thank you very much. And we can certainly see kind of that trend, and you all mentioned it one way or another, and certainly something that we've seen as well, even from just a tech employee perspective, is the fact that the tech industry here in the Southwest Florida area, Cape Coral, Fort Myers, Punta Gorda, even, you know, Bonita, Naples, it's definitely exploding. I mean, you've got the huge Arthrex complex down there. We've got Hertz that hires all kinds of tech related jobs as well. I mean, we've got a lot of the big names, but as most of you mentioned as well, we do have a lot of smaller companies that are out there that are, whether they're housed here or they just have a, you know, a small group of people that work for them as well, just because they are either bigger companies that are out of state or somewhere else in the state. But we're definitely seeing that mix, and we are most certainly seeing a bunch of companies that are migrating, as Professor Pirro said, out of Silicon Valley and going elsewhere. And we have seen kind of that attractiveness of the South Florida region. I know, for example, that Miami's making a huge push to make it become a tech hub. Even Tampa, that's a very large tech hub, and Orlando as well. So those three kind of bordering us just will always benefit our area as well. So there's definitely going to be a lot more in the mix for all of you for sure. So that being said, I think those were most of the questions I had. I'm not sure if anybody has any closing remarks, anything you'd like to add, anything that I didn't ask that you think would be beneficial for the group. I would like to give just a few more minutes of kind of free back and forth, even questions for each other. I mean, that's fine. That's what the whole purpose of this networking session is for. Okay, no problem if there isn't. That was just something that I wanted to offer. Same for our participants. If you have any questions for our panelists, I know I saw some conversation going back and forth, which was very good. Melissa, thank you very much for your comment. I'm glad you enjoyed the event, and that's the idea of what we try to offer for everybody, is just networking and good information that all of our participants can definitely actually put to good use for sure.
So I just wanted to mention, I don't know if you will be sending out our contact information today. I'm just going to put my information quickly in the chat.
That would be wonderful. Yeah, if you could. And thank you. That's a great point, because I do have it, but it's a hodgepodge of information. If all of you
no
can't
worries,
put
yeah,
in the chat, I will make sure that I load it into our meetup as comments as well. We can share that with the entire group of on meetup for sure.
Okay, great, wonderful.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
And I do just want to mention for our admissions team, we have availability if anyone wanted to ever book an appointment with us, you can do so as well. I provided my link there. We have specific admissions webinars as well that's available to you as well on our events page and everything. So feel free to reach out to us with any questions.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And yeah, and I'm sure that goes for the rest of the panelists as well, for sure. All right, definitely seeing everybody's contact information there. Let me just get my presentation back on screen real quick. And that's it. Sorry, too many screens. I get lost on my own desktop. Thank you all, of course, once again, representing the School District of Lee County, FGCU, NSU, Florida, Kaiser University, and FSW. Fortunately, we did not have Hodges University able to join us this evening, but to all of our panelists, Professor Pirro, Bao, Dr. Curran, Mary, Kelly, thank you so very much for your participation and for being here and for answering these questions. These are very valuable for all of our participants. Again, the reason I recorded is for those that weren't able to make it, so that they still have a chance to go back and see it as well. Very, very good information for obviously for the community, for our area, and that is always at the heart of it. Our main intent is to make sure that our participants are able to get something out of it, and that they can take something home that'll work for them. On that note, for our participants as well, you can always keep in contact with us with our through all of our social media accounts. We are Southwest Florida Tech Nights, as Zarel said it at the top of the call, and that's how you can find us pretty much everywhere. And on that note, we do like to keep our Discord. We try to keep it lively, but that's where we tend to communicate. If anybody wants to join us, please do so as well. Again, Southwest Florida Tech Nights on Discord, or the QR code and the link. So I'll leave that up for the moment. And if nobody else has any other questions, once more, I cannot appreciate and thank you enough for joining us this evening. I know everybody's busy, and it's an effort to take time out of your day to join us, especially in the evening. So we definitely appreciate all of your effort to be with us tonight.
Thank you for having us. It was great. We should do this more often. Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you, everyone. It's great to meet everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. On that note, I will stop sharing. I will stop recording.